Hello. How's it going, everybody? My name is Mike. Channel's name's Health and Wealth. Thank you for joining me. It's Friday, 5 p.m. I'm recording this video on November the 14th. Man, I've been thinking of some titles, thinking about some things to talk about, how to get rich in 2026. And having a market pullback like this could definitely help a lot of people if it's just a temporary pullback. But there's no real indications out there talking about it being a temporary pullback and more of a prolonged pullback. Just a day, 2 days ago, everybody said maybe when the government comes back to work, the market will flip back for the good. It actually did the opposite. The market went down. The government, for the first time in a long time, mentioned that they aren't going to share the jobless claims out there. Why? Because it's growing. Mortgages. More people are defaulting on mortgages than ever before. More people are pulling from their 401k emergency fund than ever before. So if you want to get rich in 2026, I don't have the answer, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do for myself. And, this pullback has been prolonged, but, from my all-time highs, I'm only down 8%, which is really not too bad. And I can understand some people out there in the world are probably down a lot more than that. My portfolio, it's pretty risky, right? Misty, Coney, Nvidia, HUI, Alti, and HHIS. So a lot of risk in there and not a lot of safety. And so down 8% so far in the last, I guess it's been about a month and a half of it pulling back a little bit there, right? So how to get rich in 2026? Again, I'm not the right person to answer that question, but I will share with you what I'm going to do. And I've been thinking about it, and I've been sharing it with you over the last couple of weeks here. But I've been using margin, just $500 a month to buy Alti, ULTY. I did it 2 times, maybe 3 times. And the plan was to pay the $500 back every single time as fast as possible with the distributions from Misty, HUI, Nvidia, Coney. And I was able to pay it back every single month. And in like the 3rd week, it was paid back. So the same thing's happening right now. 3rd week, paid back. So that's good. It's been a good strategy so far. It's basically preloading the shares of Alti and then just paying back that preloaded amount. But now I'm all done buying into ULTY. I'm all done buying Misty. I'm all done buying Nvidia. I'm definitely all done buying Coney. So what am I going to do with my money? How do I want to navigate my portfolio going forward? And I've been thinking about it. And what I really wanted to do is buy HHIS, which is a Canadian fund, and I still definitely want to do that. So what I'm going to end up doing here, and I was talking about it a long time ago, but putting a little bit of the distribution towards cash and then the rest into HHIS. So gonna do that. And I have 2 goals for 2026. One is build HHIS up to 1,000 shares. And then the other one is start my options world, right? I want to do the wheel. And so in order to do that, I need some cash to make that happen. And so I'm going to take these distributions from the YieldMax funds and just take a little bit towards cash, a little bit towards HHIS. And what I'm thinking is like a 50-50 mix here until I get enough cash to start the wheel process in options on whatever stock I choose, or whatever ETF I choose to do it on. There's a lot of options out there. Again, pun intended, for the wheel. So HHIS is a Canadian fund. It's Harvest. It's done really, really well. They are slightly leveraged as well, and they're very tech heavy. They're the top stocks in the market right now are in that fund. Their goal is to buy the company, they have these funds as payers, right, in their fund, similar to what YieldMax does, and then they go inside of HHIS. And so their goal is to trade covered calls on 50% of their portfolio of those. And then the other 50% is built for growth. And then they have a static amount that they pay out every month. That static amount just got upgraded from 25 to 26 cents. So I like that. You know what you're going to get every single month. And then you hope that those stocks grow. And I mean, if the market continues to have a downturn, then that should have a downturn as well. So I like that I'm going to be putting my 50% of my cash that I get from distributions every week over to HHIS. I also like that I will now have a new avenue of revenue coming to me in terms of options. And I really like that I'm able to buy companies at the price that I'm comfortable buying them at. So I'll give you an example. Is it called Conal? CONL is the symbol. Just something I've been looking up like 15, 20 different symbols here, but that's one example of like a leverage type fund, and it's super volatile, which means its premiums are super volatile. And so I talked about doing the wheel on that. Just the thought. I haven't done it. I'm not going to be doing it for probably another 2 months, I'd say. And I thought about doing the wheel on that and generating income. So let's just pretend the share price was at, I don't know, $28. And I set my strike price at $24, but for a month from now, I get a little premium for doing that. Plus, if this market continues to pull back, which, I don't know, will it? We'll find out, right? I get that. I get to buy that at a discounted price compared to what it is right now. Plus, I got a little something while we were waiting there for it to happen too. So, I mean, personally, I think the market's going to keep pulling back only because of all the bad news that's happening out there. Only because we've had a bull market for so long. It's been due for this. But I mean, I'm not predicting the future, and definitely not providing any advice at all, right? I'm just kind of sharing my thought process and my feelings on that. But yeah, I find it to be interesting. So if I go 50% cash and 50% HHIS, so last month I brought in $2,000 in distributions. That would be $1,000 going each way. $1,000 into a $13 ETF. You know, that's decent. It's good over a year. I don't think I'll get to my 1,000 shares over there by 12 months from now, but it's definitely going to be in the right direction. And then with the wheel approach, hopefully I can start building momentum on that instead, and then eventually it kind of takes over the income of what I'm getting from my distributions right now. Now I know that's slow, steady. Talking to a friend of mine, same buddy I always talk about everything with when it comes to stocks and ETFs and things like that. And he's like, $30, who cares about that? And I said, no. You can't look at what you're going to get in a week or 2 weeks or 3 or even a month in premium as a dollar amount. You have to think of it as a percentage coming back to you. And, you know, forever, we always talked about, like, you know, getting a 10% return in the stock market's good. As long as we're ahead of inflation, it's good, right? So that $30 he talked about, I mean, this is just random numbers that I'm throwing out there right now, was something like a 90% return. So I could totally make that a lot safer with like a 20% delta, and still generate income from my account, building it up slowly. Not super risky. Of course, there's risk involved with it, but it's not like 100% return annually or anything like that. And so, you know, for me, I'm still on the hunt. I'm trying to find the right fund for me. I want to like kind of like weigh my options. I want to be a little risky, but not too risky with it. And so I'm still, you know, trying to build up the budget to make this happen. So, you know, I'm looking for stocks or ETFs that are $20 or less. And I mean, those generally aren't the best companies in the world. They're not profitable usually. They're you know, not as good as those big boy companies. But that's going to be step one of the options, is starting slower with these like $20 stocks, and then the next one we're building it up and up and up and up. And then eventually I have, you know, 5 or 6 plays happening here, but I'm going to end up doing this with you know, building options income, with distribution income, with job income, all of this stuff. And then I just hope that options trading ends up taking over the income from the dividends that I get And then eventually, I mean, it's something that I can do. I enjoy doing, and I feel like it would be a lot of fun to do. Even if I'm traveling the world, I have the ability to log in and trade options. It doesn't take very long to do once you know which ETFs or stocks that you want to trade options with. So it's going to be a new process for me. I'm excited about it. It's not like I'm selling Misty, Coney, Nvidia, Hui, or Alti. I'm keeping those. They're going to continue to feed the beast over here, which is the 50% HHIS and the 50% options. But for now, I'm just generating cash in that option side of things so that eventually I can have the $2,000 sitting there, and I can go ahead and sell puts and really kind of navigate the options world. If you guys trade options right now, what are you trading options on? I want to know. Help me out. Help me find some good, solid companies out there. I don't know, like TSLY and TSLL and all of these double leverage funds. They kind of scare me a little bit, and I don't really want to do those so much. But if I did do them, I would go way out of the money, like way out of the money. And obviously the first play is to, if the price is $20, is to undercut that at a sale price of where you're comfortable. If it dipped, you would buy those shares at. So I don't know if I want to do that, but yeah, it's a lot to think about, but it's a lot of fun to think about. What are some of the things on the stock market that is enjoyable for you? One of the things for me is Bitcoin. This morning, I went ahead and bought another $100 worth of Bitcoin. Man, I texted my buddy. I said, "Hey, if it gets to 75,000, it's go time, right? I'm going to double up what's in there." He said, "You remortgaging your house?" And I said, "No, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to double what I have in there." But that's something that's enjoyable for me. So whenever Bitcoin dips, I'm fine with that because I have that goal of 75,000 to buy more. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, that's fine too. Big night for me, going out for dinner here with friends, and then we're coming back. Party night over here. We're going to play some games, but what do you got going on for the weekend? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content tonight, my name is Mike. Channel's name is Health and Wealth. You're awesome. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.